and welcome to week 9 of How to Start a Board Game Company from Off the Page Games. I'm Jay Cormier. Now this week I wanted to talk about hype because I talked about in a previous week episode about the work back schedule, and I realized I wanted to try to launch this game on Kickstarter in March of next year. That felt like the amount of time I needed in order to get it ready. And so then backdating that, I have to figure out when can I start building hype. And the probably more ideal time would probably be closer to October, November. But then I missed the entire con season. And I kind of wanted to start getting this game out at cons. Not in a big way, not with a booth or nothing really big, but just doing some demos. And that's starting literally as I'm talking right now, tomorrow at Gen Con. Depending on when you see this, obviously it's probably in the past. So we go to Gen Con here and let's just find event. I'll search for MGMT. That's how easy it comes. There it is, mind management. Hey, it's already sold out. It's so great to say. Hey, it only needed 5 people to sell. It was one demo. That's how low key this is. Very low key. I wanted to get at least one demo out there, but advertise it, get people to come by. That was kind of the goal. So that's that. And then that made us think about, well, what do we want to do when we get to Gen Con? And we then came up, well, we need a banner. And what's going to be on this banner? Well, probably the box art. And we talked about this in a previous week's episode. So we made the box art. And then we also talked about a postcard. And so we got the postcards in. So they look pretty sweet. And the backs of them are here, which you can see if you ever get one in real life. These will be handed out at any upcoming convention that we can get to. And it has some in-game content on the back here, but it's kind of hidden. And you might not get it until you finally get the game in your hands. Then this will have some benefit to you. So that's kind of a little bit about building the hype, because it's very on brand for mind management to have some hidden messages and manipulation and whatnot. So that is happening right now. Now, in order to do to do all this, so I knew that there was going to be the banner and this postcard that would have the box art cover, and I thought, then I had this question I had to figure out: do I want to announce and show everybody that this box art image exists? And this is usually something you want to try to save for quite a bit later, I think, and to help really spike the interest. But I figured because it's going to be on the banner and people are going to want to recognize it, I guess, I decided to launch it early. And I don't know, that might come to bite me in the butt, but we'll see. So this is what I did. I first had to get it listed onto BGG. And so you can go up here into Miscellaneous and you can add a board game to the database. But then I realized once you start entering it that I had to add myself as a publisher. I'm like, aha! So I had to add myself as a publisher. And I realized if I actually search for publisher that I'm missing something here. So let's see if I can, there we go. There I am, Off the Page Games. So I don't have an image available. So let's see if we can upload an image here. Go to images, go to upload. Let's get our logo in here. That'll probably be good. Choose files. There we go. I'm going to go into this folder. This one. And edit caption. I don't think I need to upload all. Caption required. Caption is required. Oh, okay. All right. Logo for Off the Page Games. There we go. Gallery required. Oh. See, this is all new to me. So the gallery, oh, there you go, logo. There we go. All right, so now that that's done, I would imagine that has to get approved, and then once it's approved, I'll have this. So then I had that done, but now I had to go in and add a board game. And you go in here to add a board game, you type in what's the name of the game, and you kind of describe it, and then you enter all this information. When was it published, what's the minimum, maximum number of players and age, and the time to play it, and then you add all the categories and mechanics, if it belongs to any other family, and if it expands any other systems, or integrates with other systems or whatnot. Designer and artist. Now I noticed when I had it, we can actually just go to my, well, I'll show you the rest of this form. If there's any versioning information, if this is the second or third version of something, and then you'd add all the different information for that version, including dimensions and whatnot of the box and product. I didn't have this, so I just had to make it up. I have an estimate of what my box is going to be, but obviously things can change. I think that's fine. And then your release date of when it's coming out, etc., etc., etc. Cool. let's check out mine. I had to go in here and I uploaded the image, and it took me a while to figure this out, but I had to go here to these three dots to propose it as a representative. Ah, it's clever. And then it became the main image. So that was fantastic. So here we have the main site. This is pretty cool. It has the description that I typed in for the game. You can see it's already on people's wish list, which is pretty cool. So people want it for trade. That's really cool. Pretty straightforward. It's already in a few threads. One thing you're going to want to do when you have a BGG, look, there's even a geek list with this game. Gen Con promos, see? Get the postcard. One thing you want to do is you're going to want to subscribe to your own thing. So you click subscribe, edit subscription, and you go through all the different things in your subscription, and some things default no. So for a reply, it defaults no. Well, I change it to yes. Geek list item, default no. No, I would like to know every time somebody adds my game to a geek, because usually it's fun reason why they're adding it. Default yes, default yes. eBay auction, I don't know if I need to know about that or not, or if it's for sale. You could, if you're interested, obviously change it to yes. A member item, not even sure what that is. Comment, yeah, I want to know comments. That'd be fun. There you go, and I'm going to save that. Perfect. Okay, so now this is set up. The reason why I want to get this all set up in advance is because when I shared it, here's my Facebook post, proud to unveil the box art for our first game, my manager's second game, blah, 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 blah. Box art is all newly created. Boom, and here it is. And so I said, if you love this game as much as I do, the art as much as I do, go to BGG and give it a thumb. So the reason why I did that is look at how many people we reached. It's pretty good. Over 1,000 engagements already. 4,200 people reached. That's pretty wild. A lot of comments, a lot of shares and whatnot. So that's cool. The reason why I did this and linked in when I announced the cover art and linked the BGG is because if you go to BGG, they have a hotness meter. They have a hotness of games, but they also have a hotness for images. And you'll look, currently, Mind Management is the second hottest image on BGG. And I think that's something to be proud of, because we're in Gen Con right now, and people are sharing all sorts of new images and whatnot. And this is the second hottest image right now. So that's pretty cool. That is pretty cool. Then we'll come back here and we'll look at some of the other posts that I've been doing. So the very next post was about advertising, hey, are you going to Gen Con and do you want to play a demo of our first game? It's going to be Friday, August 2nd, 4 p.m. Here's the link to go sign up for it. And here's where it is, because it says I also recommend stopping by, because we're giving not only is Sen and Matt going to be there so they can autograph things, but we're going to be handing out these postcards. Pretty cool. And then this is the banner art. That there's going to be a banner that Matt Kint made. So fantastic. So that was great. And by the next day, it was already sold out. So here's the next one. Well, we've sold out. We still want you to come by to get the postcard. So pretty cool, pretty cool. And then I got to post about the hotness, the fact that our image is in the hotness. So leveraging any amount of buzz that you get, you want to obviously do that. And then look at this. Here, it was shared a photo that Sen posted of Matt Kint and Sen were the day before Gen Con were playing Mind Management in their lobby. And this is Matt Kint as the Mind Management agent player, secretly moving around and trying to not get caught by Sen. And I believe he did get caught. So that's pretty cool. And then concurrently with that happening, I also posted about asking for final phase playtesters to really start to test the rule book, make sure that's good, and also testing something that we just added recently, which was a training mission. I had some really good feedback recently from my playtest group, where one of them was new to it, and they're like, it's a lot to take in on your first game, because everything has a reason of why you want to do something, but it's not apparent on your first playthrough. Maybe a training mission would be a good idea. And I love the idea, kind of like Space Alert has those training missions. And so I'm like, that's a great idea. So I kind of created a training mission, and I tested it this week. And then some play testers that I had sent this out to, I think I'm up to about 17 different groups of play testers are now currently testing the game, which is just great. And thank you for all those that have volunteered for this. And got some feedback that, yes, it's good. and it takes like 15 minutes to play the training mission, which is great. So it's short and sweet, but it gets you an idea of some of the ways you think about the game. In the game, you have to ask a question like, have you ever been to one of any block that has a billboard? And the mind management player has to look at where he's moved, and say, if he has been, he has to put a token on one of the ones where he has been on a block that has a billboard. And you're like, oh, so he's been there, and you start deducing. That's great. It feels good when you get a hit. And then if you don't get a hit, and they say, have you ever been to a block with a billboard? And he looks, he says, nope. If you're inexperienced with a deduction game, you get disappointed, like, oh, that was a miss. Okay, too bad. All right, let's move on. And this is a big thing. The game comes with these mental notes, which are tokens that are dry erase. And the idea is that even when you get a no, and say it's move 7, because there's a very specific round timer that shows you what move the mind management player is on currently. And so say it's move 7. That means, up until move 7, the mind management player has never been on a block with a billboard. So you use these mental notes to indicate up to turn 7, one side's going to be red, one side's going to be green. So on the red side, you write 7 and put them on all the 5 blocks that have a billboard. And you now see, oh, he was never on this and he was never on that one. And it starts to help, once you get a few hits as well, shape a pattern of where the mind management player's been. So I didn't mean to get into all the rules and whatnot here, but the fact that we have this training mission worked well. We had really great feedback from one of our playtesters that they still had a challenge with it, so we tweaked it even further. And this is all in an effort. The playtesting isn't necessarily to build hype, but I think it's to help just make sure everything's kind of as smooth as possible, especially with these training missions. Because we're pretty confident about the game, because the game has been playtested tons of times, like for 2-3 years, I think. For 3 years this game's been being developed and playtested by all sorts of different people and groups. So we're pretty confident about where it's at, but the training missions is cool. And the blind playtesting, we haven't done tons of that, so this will be great to find that out. So this is where we're at right now. I think for the rest of this con season, I think I'm going to try to recruit some people that would like to be ambassadors and that are going to conventions that I can't get to and demo the game at the convention. And so I think I might post about that next week. So that's about it for this week. It's just about the start of building your hype, and I think it's kind of dangerous if you don't have any build-up, any hype. Now, again, I might be doing mine a bit too early, so that's why I'm trying to not be super noisy about it and just kind of get it out there here and there, and just be organic about it as possible. But if you're not building that awareness and building that kind of a bit of a following, I think it could be in trouble when you launch your Kickstarter and you don't have anybody even aware of your game. So that's a challenge. All right, that's it for this week. My name's Jay. Thanks so much for joining us.